All right. Hey guys, welcome to this episode where we're going to talk about embracing uncomfortable feelings or embracing discomfort when it comes to OCD and anxiety recovery. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Cotty, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker, the founder of Restored Minds, and the creator of the AAA Response. And when it comes to OCD and anxiety recovery, one of the things that no one likes, right, is the uncomfortable feelings that we experience in our body. And so, real quick, before we dive in, please, if you would help us out by liking and subscribing and even leaving a comment, it would really help out our platform because it shows the algorithms that, this is, that you're watching and that engaging. And so it helps get this content to more people. And so if you could help us out by doing that, I'd really appreciate that. So when it comes to OCD and anxiety, what we're really talking about here is stress in the body, right? Our body's engaging in that sympathetic nervous system, like we talked about, and we're experiencing stress. So this manifests different ways for everyone. Okay. And there are going to be the common things that people experience, like maybe a racing heart. There could be tightness in the chest, could be headaches, could be, like the pit in the stomach, pit in the throat. Like there's so many ways that this manifests. And the number one thing that most people want to do, right, is that we want to get rid of those feelings. Like, I don't like those feelings, right? I want to get rid of them. So that actually causes most of the problems that we experience with anxiety disorders, right? When we understand OCD and anxiety as a feeling problem, we then try to get rid of the feelings, right? How we identify this problem sets the trajectory for the results that we get. So, I talk a lot about understanding OCD and anxiety as a behavior problem, because if we focus on it as a behavior problem, what happens is we then aim to change the behaviors which don't reinforce the loop. So when we understand that, but let's talk about the uncomfortable feelings, because it's one of the most challenging aspects of that, and that's what I want to do in this episode. So when we talk about the uncomfortable feelings, the best thing that we can do is actually embrace the discomfort that we are experiencing. And I know that that is not necessarily what you might want to hear. It's not what I want to hear, especially in times when I'm not feeling good. It's like, no, I just want to feel better, right? Like that's our instinct, right? We as humans, we're driven internally to pursue pleasure and avoid pain. So when we talk about the discomfort of anxiety, it's one of the last things that most of us want to do. But when we are able to embrace the feelings, that is actually what allows the transformation of that feeling. It's what allows the feeling to surface and pass. See, feelings are temporary. You've never felt the same way your whole life, right? It's always has a start and an end, right? And new feelings come in and out. So feelings we aren't our feelings. That's like one of the first things to understand here when it comes to embracing uncomfortable feelings and embracing discomfort. And what do I mean by that? Like, sometimes what that means is like, I've used this visualization in my mind before. Let's say like my chest was just feeling really heavy, in times where, my body was really stressed or I was feeling anxiety. It's almost like you want to metaphorically give that feeling a hug. And what I mean by that is you want to give that feeling the space it needs to be expressed, to happen, and to do whatever it needs to do. Because this is how we treat our good feelings, right? Most of us, if we feel happy or we feel excited, we're not like, oh gosh, I really need to get rid of that. We just let that feeling kind of run its course. And the same thing needs to happen with our uncomfortable feelings, though. And yes, I understand this is hard, but the more you can practice this and I mean really embrace that discomfort and that metaphor of giving it a hug, right? Giving that feeling like that space it needs to surface in your body and to run its course. And the reason I say to metaphorically embrace it or give it a hug is because you're coming at it from a welcoming standpoint. Most people, what we do is we resist the feelings. We try to push them away. We try to get rid of them. We try to remove them from our body. See, that's not a welcoming at all. I mean, literally think of it as if it was another person. If the person was coming into your home and you're pushing them out, right, and trying to get rid of them, right, that's not welcoming. The same thing with our feelings, right? When they come to the surface, we got to be willing to welcome them. Okay. And yes, I understand it's not comfortable, but that's not our goal. Our goal is not to be comfortable, right? Our goal is to recover and to grow and heal. And what that involves is the process of actually letting feelings that we're trying to bury in us come to the surface and navigate that and actually release, right? So one of my favorite books is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And he talks about this process of relaxing and releasing and really, just understanding feelings as essentially energy. And when we can do that, that's one of a tip that I like to give in this episode is really understanding anxiety as energy, right? Really understanding feelings as energy. Because I think what happens, one of the reasons that we are so resistant to feelings and so unwilling to embrace them is because we judge them. So feeling of anxiety comes up, even feeling depressed, feeling heavy, feeling, just whatever it is we're feeling that's uncomfortable. We judge it. And then as soon as we determine that that's bad, we then try to resist it. We try to push it away. We try to get rid of it. And if we're going to embrace our feelings, that especially the uncomfortable ones, what we're going to need to be able to do is to not judge it. And it doesn't mean that you need to say it's good, but you just have to have that kind of gray area, that ambivalent to whatever it is. It's like, you have family members, I'm sure, and people in your life that maybe you like certain people or enjoy certain people's company more than others, but you can still be welcoming to people that maybe, you have a harder time with. You can still be welcoming, right? And that's your work to do right there. It's the same with our feelings. There are there are feelings that are a lot easier for us to experience and a lot harder for us to experience sometimes. Our ability to embrace the feeling as it comes up is the work. And this week, I just want to ask what that means to you. How can you embrace your discomfort more? How can you welcome it and actually give it the space it needs? What does that look like? And again, I don't have the answers for you, right? I mean, that's your work to do on yourself right there. That is the work of recovery right there. See, most of us, what we do is we medicate some way, right? We distract. So we just dive into our phones, right? I mean, want an awakening? Look at how many times you grab for your phone, right? That is such an indicator of discomfort right there. Just how many times you just impulsively just grab for your phone, and it's challenging, right? And so, I mean, but all the things we do, right? Whether it's drugs, alcohol, right? TV, shopping, sex, right? I mean, we use so many mechanisms of escaping our feelings. And when we can learn to embrace them, that is what actually gives them the space, the time they need to surface and transpire. The feeling can't last forever. That's one of the things you need to remember about the uncomfortable feelings. They cannot last forever. And the more the more we're willing to embrace them, the shorter they will last. That's what I found. Because there's that old age adage or famous quote, what you resist persists, right? And so the more we can embrace, that's actually what's going to allow us to heal and allow us to go through and navigate this process and ultimately be the best thing for our recovery. So hope this was helpful. And if you're struggling with OCD and anxiety right now, I have a free guide right down in the links below that can get you started and introduce you to kind of the overall education of OCD and anxiety recovery, along with the AAA response and how you can apply it. As well as at Restored Minds, we have several different resources for you depending on where you are in your journey. So whether it's just our educational courses or our coaching programs or our groups, we're here to help. And so for those of you that are looking for help, please head over to Restored Minds and you'll be able to explore the different options, reach out and contact us, and we can help you kind of with what program or what resources are best for you. So just want to say thank you so much for hanging out today. And again, the resources right in the notes below for you is a great place to get started. And please help us out as well, again, by liking and subscribing and even commenting and sharing. And so hope you guys have a great week. And I look forward to continuing this series here on feelings and things we can be doing in our day-to-day life to help our recovery. So talk to you soon and have a great week. Bye. Thank you so much for watching that video. And so if you're struggling with OCD and anxiety, I just wanted to let you know that we have a free training for you over at Restored Minds where you can start learning how to use our AAA response to really break out of that loop and ultimately take back control of your life. And all you need to do to access is just click the little link below and you'll be taken to a page where you can register today. Thank you so much.